D-Day. Experience the largest amphibious invasion in history through the lens of Michael Bay. There's action, drama. Oh my god, that's so gross. The mission opens up with a little intro showcasing not only the invasion of Normandy, but a montage of our heroes and what to expect from the campaign. If only they showed... Once past the epic montage, we find our protagonist and his pals playing a game of Five-Finger Fillet. You know kids play this game, right? Anyway, the Five-Finger Fillet is an introduction to some of our major characters. Daniels, our protagonist, is the Texas farm boy with daddy issues. Zussman is the quote-unquote hustler, but I'd probably describe him as the finance frat bro that joined the military for bragging rights. Aiello's whole personality is...
Wait! Your prodigal son returns!
And Styles is... If you listen closely while Daniels just yaps, you'll hear a bit of the interaction between Zussman and the squad. This is obviously a trick by Zussman, making it seem like he sucks at Five-Finger Fillet, when actually...
You get flushed.
Classic 1940s hustling. This obviously causes some tension between Aiello and Zussman after Aiello loses the bet, which leads to a bit of anti-Semitism from Aiello towards Zussman about him being Jewish by saying he won't shake hands with someone that is Jewish. But don't worry, because Zussman replies with the age-old,
That's not what she said last night.
The squad runs off as they prepare for the invasion, which leads to Daniels and Zussman to run into Sergeant Pearson. Pause, because you're probably wondering, who is Pearson? Sergeant Pearson is the squad's no-nonsense sergeant that gets off by picking on Zussman and Daniels. Besides being a dick, he also offers sarcasm in the worst situations. Hopefully he doesn't go on some sort of power trip later. Pearson also is played by Josh Duhamel, who is known for things like Transformers and being married to oh god, that's gross. After that brief interaction, Daniels and Zussman do their signature handshake, which leads us into Timu Dale Dye's speech that, in my opinion, would rival the likes of Tom Brady's pre-game texts.
Today, with our allies, we embark on an operation of unparalleled importance to establish a beachhead at Normandy and roll back the German aggression that has terrorized Europe for the past 5 years. We are all that separates the world from darkness. This, so much more than a chance to be heroes in our own lifetimes. If we prevail, our triumph will be etched into the hearts and minds of a grateful world for untold generations. I'm talking about glory, gentlemen. True glory.
Colonel Davis sure can give a nice speech.
Now motivated, the squad loads onto the Higgins boats as they move on to Omaha Beach. We get a brief glimpse of the inside of the Higgins boat where you see the entire unit packed in like sardines. Hopefully that doesn't have an impact later.
I was coming home to her.
Yeah, just
What
wait
did
till
you
we
say?
hit Paris.
Hey, I wish I was coming home to her.
Oh, that's what I thought you said. Hopefully you don't need someone to drag your ass around to safety later. Let's pause for another second, because Daniels and Zussman get some words of wisdom from their squad's lieutenant, Turner. You're probably wondering, who is Turner? As I mentioned, he's the squad lieutenant that, according to Wikipedia, is the father, of his men and often in battle with Pearson. My only gripe with this character is apparently he hails from my home state of Massachusetts, specifically Cambridge, which, if you've never been to Cambridge... Oh my god, what the fuck is that? But my gripe isn't that he hails from the beautiful state of Massachusetts, it's that he doesn't have that disgusting Boston accent that every movie imitates. He also isn't brandishing any Dunkin's merch, like he might as well just be from Connecticut or Vermont. Anyway, Turner's advice is...
Gotta advance. You need to stay low and do not bunch up.
I mean, no shit. That's like telling someone to put on a seatbelt before they drive a car. After those wonderful words of wisdom, we begin to build up to the invasion. The driver of the Higgins boat asks Daniels for a light, remember smoking kills, as one of the machine gunners gets shot. Oh my god! I did not sign up for this. As the Higgins boat inches closer to the beach, you'll see the invading force begin to start taking fire from machine guns and artillery. Can we just take a second and just talk about how beautiful yet horrifying the set piece is? I know in about 5 seconds it's about to be... But man, this puts the opening to Saving Private Ryan in an entirely different perspective. Anyway, the Higgins boat on your left explodes and the driver wants to peel out. 500 yards turns into 200 yards as the squad prepares for the ramp to drop. 20 seconds to go and Pearson's barking out orders for the driver to drop the ramp. As the Higgins boat drops the ramp, we get one of those Michael Bay moments where the Higgins boat that was hit a couple minutes before, much like the Return of the Emperor and the Rise of Skywalker, somehow rams into your squad's Higgins boat, which throws the squad off balance and... Pause. I'd like to at least take a second and show you the German side of this, which is doable because of the Russian Badger. Roll the clip. As MG fire tears apart the squad, Daniel, seeing all the carnage, begins to see soldiers jump over the side into the water, to which he follows suit. Briefly in the water, it starts to slowly turn to blood as he is pulled up by none other than Daddy himself, Turner. Turner tells Daniels to get his head down to keep moving, which gives Daniels two actual options. Option 1, turn back and start swimming towards the boats that you came off of, or 2, advance forward to the seawall. Which one did I choose? Nah, I'm kidding, I would never. Daniels makes his way up to the beach with Turner while taking even more fire from the MG nest up on the hill, where they stop at one of the Czech hedgehogs for cover. Turner says a quick prayer and then orders Daniels to take the Bangalore up to the seawall. But much like Captain Miller in Saving Private Ryan, Daniels starts to visualize the horror around him as Higgins boats explode, bodies begin to wash up, and soldiers continue to find cover as they begin to move up the beach. Turner is able to snap Daniels back into it and reminds him of his training and to grab the Bangalore, which he grabs from a— oh god, I can't do this. Daniels continues to make his way up the beach, dodging MG fire by moving from cover to cover. He finally makes it to the seawall with Zussman, who tells him to quote unquote use the banger to clear the way. Which brings us to the game's first quick time event. Move your left stick into the circle and press RT. This will then get Daniels to activate the Bangalore and throw it over the seawall. The Bangalore explodes, clearing the way off the beach, and I'm not gonna lie, every time I do this part, I can't help but say, we're in business, definitely! Other side of the hole! Daniels begins to climb the seawall when, what the hell is going on? Where are all these bullets coming from? Okay, I'm not entirely sure if this is a texture issue or it was something that was actually part of World War II. It could be a design thing. I have no idea. Daniels pushes through the texture issue and advances himself into the trenches, where he witnesses some hand-to-hand combat and the decision to either watch or help the men. Or not, because even if you do, I guess they just die because the script said so. And then, excuse me, what is this? Is this a PPSH on the Western Front? What the hell, Call of Duty? As Daniels begins to advance in the trench, he regroups with Zussman, who gives the player access to a special ability, health packs. Daniels continues through the trenches, where after a small skirmish with some Germans, regroups with the remainder of his squad. Pinned down by an MG covering the path, Pearson throws an artillery smoke that levels the bunker, allowing Daniels and his squad to advance further up the bluffs. Now up the bluffs, Daniels and squad begin to clear the bunkers in the area. You know what? I'm just gonna stop yapping for a bit and just let you—
Need help over here! Enemies by the mortar! Crouched in the open!
Pause. Alright, now that the squad has cleared 4 bunkers and Daniels has heroically saved some of his fellow NPCs from near death, Turner orders Zussman and Daniels to clear the final bunker. After Daniels and Zussman take out the opposition near the bunker, Daniels enters only to be ambushed by a German, engaging into some hand-to-hand combat / quick time event. Zussman breaks up the party, engaging in his own hand-to-hand fight, except, plot twist, he ends up getting stabbed by the German, who shifts his focus over to Daniels, engaging in another quick time event. Now that the German's been dealt with and Daniels turns his attention back to Zussman, but not too fast because we end up having a singular German, but oh, okay, he's dead. Daniels, even though Zussman made a suggestive comment about his girlfriend, wife, who cares, begins to drag Zussman to safety. Don't you have health packs? Why am I dragging your lazy ass? Daniels somehow survives various waves of Germans because they basically are stormtroopers due to how bad their aim is, and manages to drag Zussman to safety and get him medical aid. Turner rallies troops to attack some artillery down the road, which is where we unlock Turner's superpower, extra ammo. Snap your fingers and Turner will toss you ammo like it's cocaine in the 1990 Bulls locker room. The squad moves its way up the road to the farmhouse, where they come under small arms fire. The squad engages Germans holding onto the farmhouse, and once cleared, experience a counterattack. Daniels, because he's basically World War II Jesus, single-handedly holds back the German counterattack until US tanks arrive and destroy the flak gun. Daniels and squad head back to the CCP, where they find Aiello with Zussman. Zussman, by the act of God, is basically fine and taped up, while Pearson informs Daniels,
Welcome to the bloody first.
You're a long way from Texas, farm boy.
Turner finally tells Daniels no one could have been prepared for the Day of Days as Daniels looks down at his blood-soaked hands. Now let's recap. Daniel on this Day of Days helped the advance of the Allied forces single-handedly cleared bunkers, saved random NPCs, while also exposing himself, no offense to Reese McGuire, and dragged his wounded comrade to safety while fending off waves of Germans. So what's the next mission? Returning home after receiving the Medal of Honor and selling war bonds? Fuck!